Hi guys, welcome back to our Dutch farmhouse. If you're new here, my name is Naomi and we live in an old farmhouse in the beautiful countryside of the Netherlands. You know what's wild? We have already lived here for 2 years. Well, that's not entirely true. We bought this house about 2 years ago and then we didn't move in until April, but still, it's a long time. And also, somehow, it is already getting to the end of the year again. Time is going so fast, and I don't really feel like we have done that much in the house in that time, but also we have. There were some big projects that really transformed the place, so I thought this would be a nice time to do an updated house tour, kind of show you what we've done so far compared to what it was when we moved in, and then also share with you some of the plans that we still have throughout the house. So we have tried and will continue to try to give this house the love that it deserves while still making it work for actual humans in 2025, you know? Insulation, that doesn't mean just wear more sweaters, that kind of stuff. So far we have done some major projects, some upgrades, some small projects, but hopefully without destroying its soul. So I'm going to start at the front door. A warm welcome to an updated house tour. Be prepared to hear me talk a lot. The hallway is maybe not the best start because we didn't actually do that much here. The only thing we did was this little area here just to spruce it up a little, make it a little bit more cozy as you walk in, but really that is all. And I think that this hallway has some real potential to become absolutely beautiful. We've got that gigantic staircase that goes all the way up. You can see into the attic. There's the brick wall that adds a lot of character with a little stable window. I don't know if that's the right word. It's what we call it in Dutch, a stalraam. Actually, earlier this week, I was watching The Sixth Sense, and there is a little entryway in like Bruce Willis's home that I really thought was absolutely stunning. I will have to look at it again to see if it's actually feasible, but that has been kind of stuck in my brain that maybe that would be something that we could do here. Not exactly the same, but the style. So that's something I'm still playing with. There's definitely potential for wallpaper in the hallway. I think wallpaper in any room adds so much farmhouse vibes. So it's still a bit of a blank canvas. So in this hallway, you can either go through these doors into the living room or through that door into the pantry and then into the kitchen, which then is all the way open to the living room. So you can basically walk all the way around, which the kids really love. Every time we have kids playing here, they will be running circles through the house because that's hilarious. But the other thing that we have in this hallway is the coat situation. Now this is a little tricky because as you can see, it's very, very dark. And I don't think this is gonna make it much better. Anyway, so besides the fact that it's really, really dark, I actually kind of like it. I don't really have any other plans here. I kind of like the way it is. We're gonna leave that for now. And then we also have the bathroom. This was the very first project, I believe, that I did in this house, except for the flooring and stuff upstairs, like some important stuff. This was the first pretty project. Again, though, very, very hard to film. As you can see, there's no natural light. This is all, there's just one very yellow light up there. It looks very cozy in real life, but on camera it's kind of tricky. So what we had here were these tiles. This was all that it was. It was just the brown 70s tiles throughout the entire bathroom and also upstairs in the shower as well. So I didn't want to do a very expensive big renovation kind of project here. So what I did was just paint over the tiles, and that looked really, really good. I still get a lot of people who come in here who are very surprised to hear that this is painted over. It just looks really good and it holds up perfectly well because, I mean, what are you going to do with a wall, really? I don't know what would happen if you would use it on a floor, but I think on the wall, it works perfectly well. I also built this cabinet here, which is super, super handy. You can put all of your ugly cleaning stuff in there and just hide it away. Also extra toilet paper and stuff is always in there, so that works really well. So even though we didn't do a gigantic renovation on this toilet, it definitely looks so much better than it did. It's just so much more modern, it's more practical, it's less dark because the brown tiles made it very, very dark. And I really like it for now. I decided at the time to leave the back wall, the original tile, kind of like an accent wall. I have to say that I'm not a really big fan of that anymore, so I might eventually do something else with this. Either with just the back wall or maybe the entire bathroom. I'm sure eventually when we've done everything else, we will circle back to this project. Then coming from the hallway, you go into what will eventually be our pantry. This for now is the ugliest room in the house. And it's actually quite an eyesore. I really, really don't like it. And I have such wild plans for this space, I'm telling you. But they are also very expensive and very time consuming. So they will happen, but I just don't know when. So this will be one of those stunning farmhousey, Pinterest-worthy pantries, I think. But it will mostly be incredibly functional. So right now we have a freezer and an extra fridge. The only reason we have an extra fridge is because this was the fridge that we temporarily used when we didn't have a kitchen, and we just haven't gotten rid of it yet. And for now it has been very useful for parties and things to have extra soda and stuff inside. So, but eventually, oh, do I have plans for this space. There will be a beautiful counter with a beautiful sink. I think we're getting rid of one freezer because we have like 3 freezers now. It's a little overdone. There's going to be shelving on this side and another counter and some storage space underneath. And this was actually already here when we bought the house. They very kindly left these cabinets for us, which is very nice because now at least we can store everything. So this is where all of our pantry stuff goes. It's also where all of the dog stuff goes, which, if we were wondering why he's following me around all day, he's going to be in every shot, in every room, because that's what he does. Then from the same pantry, we can go into my studio, which is a little bit messy. I actually didn't tidy anything up for this house tour at all. So our house is naturally pretty tidy because if it's not, I get very cranky, but that doesn't go for every space. So this is what it looks like right now. This is a little bit of a tricky space because we do have plans for this, but they are, first of all, big and expensive. And second, to make this space comfortable enough to actually use it all year round, there is a lot needed. It's very cold. Right now it's very cold. In the summer, I spend all my time here, but in the winter, I have to admit that I kind of gravitate towards the living room. So I'm not really here that much, but nonetheless, it is beautiful. This was all orangey wood colored when we moved in. So I painted over it just to brighten it all up and also to make it less orange. So that is nice. I really like how this is original though. Kind of like but it's not really beadboard. What is it called? Is it it's also not shiplap. I don't know. It's pieces of wood and it looks really good. And that rhymes. And then also, of course, we have that beautiful apothecary cabinet, which was also already here when we moved in. We paid them to leave this. We were like, please don't take it away. I am absolutely in love with this whole thing. I love this. Eventually, I hope that this space will be kind of a shared creative space. So it will be my office, but also my studio where I've got my laser machine. But I also would like it to be somewhere where Stefan can do his creative stuff and maybe even Ruben can do some of his creative stuff. So I kind of want like a really big table here where we can all just be creative. I think that would be really, really nice. But as I have mentioned before, I want to break open this wall on this side. I'm not going to get into it in a lot of detail because I've already talked about it before and I will definitely talk about it again. But I want to get rid of this wall because, sweetie, could you please move away from the door? Thank you. Behind this wall is a beautiful window and it's just so wasted. We can't see it. This is north facing, so it would be really nice to have the light coming from that window into this room. So a lot of potential there, but for now it's kind of storage. But let's move on to my absolute favorite spot in the entire house, my kitchen. Oh my gosh, can you hear that? That is the washing machine. It's right above me. It's very loud. Okay, it is done now. It is quiet again. So if you are at all familiar with my channel, then you know about my kitchen. This is my all-time favorite spot in the entire house. It's where I live all day. It's where I spend most of my time. And it's also where I have been spending a lot of time doing projects lately. So you may have already seen it, but you may not have seen what it looked like before I did all this. This was, when we moved in, the worst place in the house. It was not only very smelly, there was a very ominous smell in the kitchen, but it was also just old. It was falling apart. This kitchen that was in here was about 50 years old, and it had had its best time. So even though we actually wanted to live with the kitchen for a while before doing any major renovations, we really couldn't work with it very well. So we actually did it a lot sooner than we thought. So we stripped everything. We removed the entire kitchen. We had all of the walls plastered. We had a piece of the flooring replaced because the old kitchen actually came in here a little bit and underneath there were no tiles. So we were able to find exactly the same tile on the other side of the country. And the guy actually came here and installed them in the same way. So you can barely see that there are new tiles here. So this is completely unrecognizable. There is nothing here that looks the way that it did when we moved in, which is really good because it was a very dark spot. It was very, well, it was just old. I don't really have more words for it really, but right now, it looks so beautiful. I have very recently done the wallpaper on that wall, and that just added the whimsy and the coziness that I was looking for. It was all white before, and with all of the white countertops as well, it was just a little bit much. It was a lot of white, but this, I love it so much, especially in the evening. It is so incredibly cozy. I don't really see a reason to go anywhere else in the house now, really. So when it comes to future plans of this kitchen, there's really not that much that really needs to be done. There is a little list still of small things, like there's no light above the kitchen island right now. But the biggest thing I think that we still need to do is the backsplash behind the stove. I haven't really decided yet what I want to do. I've been very indecisive when it comes to this kitchen. So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to just let it be for a little while and then it will come to me. Currently, I am playing with the idea of doing white and light blue tiling. Like, I will show a picture of what I mean. I like that it looks a little old, even old Dutch, really. And it goes, hopefully it goes with the wallpaper, which is also always a little bit tricky. I also still need to finish the trim around the door. If you have been here lately, you know that that was a little bit of a situation. I haven't finished it yet. I just need to either finish the paint or make it a different color, but I just haven't done it yet. It's fine. Vlogmas is coming. We need small projects for Vlogmas anyway. Our dining area, or breakfast nook. I have to say it's more like a breakfast nook, but we also dine here. So it's kind of both. Anyway, this is a fun one because this corner was completely bare after we redid the kitchen. We had all of the walls plastered and we did this corner as well. So it was just completely empty. There was just a table with 4 chairs and that's it. So last year during Vlogmas, I created this banquette, this built-in bench thing with its cushions. I got this table secondhand, and then very recently I put up that tapestry on the wall so that it's not as white anymore. I feel like I've said this before. I don't like it when everything is white and empty. Yeah, I'm not a minimalist. I am not 100% happy yet with how it looks. I feel like it can be cozier, but I want to refrain from doing more wallpaper because I think that would look really good, wallpaper here. But there's already a very busy wallpaper right across from it in the kitchen. I think I'm just going to leave it for now. Also, one of you made the brilliant suggestion to turn this tapestry around because the other side is also beautiful. It's dark red. To turn this around for Christmas. I think that's a really good idea and we're definitely doing that. Some of you may remember that earlier this year, in March, our other dog passed away, and ever since then, Fox here has completely rediscovered his playful side. He never really played before, but now he is just constantly moving his toys around the house, and recently he has invented a new game, which involves us throwing the bear across the room, and then he will fetch it and throw it back at us, and then we have to do it again. Super fun. It's just that our floors are way too slippery for this kind of game, so he slides around like Bambi, and we're always a little bit afraid that he will hurt himself, so as a rule, we don't play this game inside the house. But he keeps asking, and it is so cute, and it's very hard to say no. Then moving into our living room, this area here, which is kind of like an in-between between the kitchen and the living room, the only thing I did here was also very, very recently, which is the cafe curtains in the windows. There were gigantic windows here. It was, first of all, a little boring. And second, you could see everything that's outside, and not everything outside looks tidy and nice. So this was a beautiful solution. I really, really love those curtains. Also built this beautiful little bookcase. Loving that too, although it's not really a house thing, is it? It's just furniture. But by far, the biggest thing that we have done in the living room were the floors. So right here where you see all of the wood, that used to be carpet, and it used to be a white carpet. And I don't think that we are white carpet people. I don't think that would be white for very long. It was one of the first things that we ripped out was the carpet, and we knew that we wanted to replace it with wood, and we did. Now we also put underfloor heating under this, so it was quite a project, but it is beautiful. I love how it looks, I love how it feels, I love how easy it is to clean. And it goes very well with the original tiles, because if you haven't noticed, we have very quirky, unique floor tiles. They are very old. We don't know how old exactly. We know that they come from an old monastery, but we wanted to keep them, and they go very well with our beautiful new wood floor. Now, besides the wood floor, we haven't really done any drastic things in the living room. The only thing I did when we moved in was paint the walls, which were already kind of this color. I just brightened it up a little. It's a little bit lighter and fresher white. But we haven't really done any shocking things besides adding furniture. So there are still a lot of things that we can do. And the biggest thing, I think, or the thing with the most impact is going to be this area here. This is where we sit. This is where we watch TV. And this is also where we still have a very old-fashioned kind of wall. I'm not quite sure how to explain that. It's on here as well. It's very textured. It's the wrong kind of old-fashioned. I like things old-fashioned, which is why we are definitely leaving all of the brick. Even though it's painted over, it still looks amazing. But this, it's ugly. Just because it's old doesn't mean it can't be ugly. I don't like it. So we're definitely going to smooth out this bit here. But there is just, I feel like there is something so much more that we can do. Don't you think we could change this column, this whole fireplace thing, into something that stands out a little bit more? Because right now it just kind of disappears into the white wall because it's all the same color. So I am thinking, first of all, hopefully we can strip this of its paint and bring it back to wood. That would be amazing. But if we can't, then I might either replace it with something or paint it a different color. I don't know. Maybe also, I'm also thinking about doing the brick around the fireplace itself a dark color, just to make it pop out, like maybe dark gray, for example. And then we're gonna have to do something with this bit here as well. So if you have any ideas, do let me know, because I feel like we can make this a beautiful feature piece, and it just isn't that yet. It doesn't really pop out as it should. And then the last part of the living room is also one where we just haven't really done anything yet. I do think at some point it would be really cool to either build or buy a really beautiful big bookcase that goes there. So the shelves that you see now were already here when we bought the house, which is really nice. So at least we can put something up there. But I think it'd be beautiful to have a really old piece there or build something. So that was downstairs. Let's go up. Now don't worry, I don't have a whole lot to show you upstairs, but I did do a couple of really cool projects up there. Our upstairs hallway is, besides the kitchen downstairs, I think the biggest transformation that you'll see here. This was all covered in a dark gray carpet. The wood on the sides was all stained a very bright red. We actually still have some of it up there, which I still need to paint. But then I created that pattern wall, which I'm still very, very proud of. I think it is absolutely stunning. I also added the trim around the doors. I painted the doors because they were the same orangey wood that we have downstairs. And all in all, it now just looks, well, I don't want to say modern because I definitely kept a lot of the old-fashioned farmhouse vibes, but it just looks so much better than it did. By the way, looking down from upstairs into the hallway, we definitely need a rug here, like a big one, a big dramatic rug. Ruben's bedroom was also quite the project, but this was a very satisfying transformation. This room was just ugly before, and now it looks really good. We added that beautiful shelf wall. The wood that I used for that was actually something that I had used in our last house for a similar thing. We took it all apart there, brought it with us, and then did it again. I also made a little pattern wall there, a very simple little pattern wall behind the bed. Everything is warm and cozy, and we've got that beautiful blue with the beautiful wood tones. It's a very, very cozy boy's room. And so far, I think he is very satisfied with his bedroom. So Stefan just came home and brought me chocolates. That is so sweet. So I haven't shown you everything upstairs. That's mostly because we haven't really done much other than what I've shown you. So there are definitely still a lot of things that need to get done. It's mostly our own bedroom and the bathroom. That is definitely an upcoming project, hopefully next year. But I also really want to do the pantry next year. And I also kind of want to do everything else next year. So we'll see how realistic that is. Let's put these in a pretty glass. As I am editing this, I realize that there are so many things I haven't shown you or talked about. I mean, another major project that we did this year was our vegetable garden. We completely redid that part of the garden and it turned out amazing. We got so many vegetables out of the garden this year, but we also have a shed that is currently just filled with wood scraps and tools that will eventually become Stefan's music studio. So that is another really big one coming up. But hopefully this tour gives you a little bit of an idea of the house and what it currently looks like. So I have to take back what I said at the beginning. We definitely did do a lot in the time that we've been here, but there will also still be a lot left that we can do to bring our personalities into this home. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. I know that it was a little bit different from what I usually do, but next week I will definitely be back with a knitting update and with cooking and everything that you're used to. But I thought it would be nice to mix it up a little bit and give you an updated tour of our house. If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I very much hope to see you next week. Bye guys.